So what was my favorite part of the campaign? It was a whole sequence of events involving the Darrow, which you guys didn't get to see. So the Darrow are mad dwarves. They're insane dwarves. And there are two factions of Darrow in Night Below. There are the faction that work for the Mind Flayers, and they're because their king has been dominated. And all of them these guys are loyal to the Mind Flayers, and they serve as guards to the City of the Glass Pool. And then there are the Renegade Darrow, the ones who don't want to work for the Mind Flayers and resist the domination. And they are the ones who spirited Tom's character. When Tom's character resisted the domination in the middle of having her brain eaten, that's why she can't remember who she was. The Darrow, the Renegade Darrow, spirited her away. They thought that she was the chosen one sent by their god, Darinka, and that's why they used the term Darinka, and that's why she thinks my name must be Darinka. Well, I didn't know how to play an insane dwarf. How do you play an insane dwarf? How do you play somebody who's insane? How do you play a race? How do you play a race of insane people? I remember one of my characters had insanity cast on him because I did something terrible, and so I just spent the rest of the evening being like, to the point where the players were like, we have to fix this because Matt is being really annoying. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How can you have a civilization of insane people doing that? So I was hit with inspiration, and I played the insane Darrow, sort of like a combination of Rick Moranis' character from Ghostbusters, Vince Clortho, but also married with the blue dudes from the Fountain of Youth episode from The Mighty Boosh, which you have to go look up because I would not be surprised if no one has any idea what I'm talking about. And so, like, when they would talk, turn down your volume, folks, because I don't have my sound guy's not here to manage this. But when they would see Darinka, they would say, "You are the chosen one! You are here to lead us out of this horrible sanity and into madness and slavery!" And the players were like, it was so funny watching the players have this intense reaction and be like, what is going on? And Tom, because the Darrow worship Tom. They think that he is the chosen one. Tom, the whole time, he's like, there's a point where one of the Darrow is leading them, follow me, I will take you to our leader. And they take the Darrow leader, and the Darrow leader says, "Chosen one, I will be your guide and take you." But the Darrow who found Darinka is like, "No, I am the favorite of the chosen one." And the leader's like, "No, it is me. I am the favorite. She will choose me." And Tom's like, Tom's going to have to choose one of these guys to be the person that leads them. And they both want it. And Tom's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay, little guy." And he like pats the Darrow on the head. And he goes, "I'll tell you what, you can just tell me how to get there. You don't have to lead me. And then if we survive the next battle, then I'll come back and I'll pick which one of you is going to be my ally." And I hadn't thought of that. So I had to push the issue because Tom had thwarted my desire. Again, players don't like making choices. They don't like committing to things. I had to force Tom to make, I had to force the issue. So when Tom said, "I'm not going to choose which one of you is going to be my aide de camp and be my right-hand man," the one who had found Tom and led Tom to the leaders of the Darrow, this one insane Darrow, the one that they kind of knew, suddenly says, "The chosen one has rejected me," and pulls out a knife and goes, and guts himself and kills himself. And the players, I remember Anna freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God." And the players were all amazed and horrified. And Tom had this big smile on his face, and he's like, "I love these guys." Tom just thought they were the most adorable little insane dwarves, and the fact that they would use this phrase, "lead us out of this terrible sanity into madness and slavery," right? He just thought that was great. So that was fantastic. I loved playing the Darrow. Let's see. I loved playing the Darrow, and then, because the party lost the fight against the lords of the servitor Darrow, the Darrow that were mind controlled by the Mind Flayers, because they lost that fight, they had to retreat, and that caused them to have to split up. And EJ got banished to the world above. Nicodemus got banished because the world in the Underdark in my universe is not the same plane. So if you're in the Underdark and you're from the mundane world, then you could be permanently banished back there, and that happened to him. And so Anna ended up alone. Alejandro de Modesto ended up alone, no spells, in the warrens of the servitor Darrow, not knowing what to do or where her allies were, or even if her friends were alive. And she tried to rest, and she scouted, and once she had figured out that they had captured the heroes, the lords of the Darrow, these high-level wizards, had captured the heroes and were leading them down to the city of the Glass Pool to be the prisoners of the Mind Flayers. She then stealthily went to find the renegade Darrow and tell them, I need your help. Your master, the chosen one, Darinka, has been captured, and we need. And so this was on Facebook. We did this where Anna, and we got on Roll20, so Anna could roll, and she made this impassioned speech, and she did her best to speak like the Darrow, all in all caps, and talking about like, you know, your queen is captured, and like and it was, she did an amazing job. I find that players typically do their best role playing one-on-one. And also chat. It's one of the reasons I encourage people to try games like Fantasy Grounds and Roll20, because players are a lot more comfortable. Unless you're a professional actor. Players are a lot more comfortable role-playing in text than they are in person, and Anna did an amazing fucking job. And then I said, but it's going to come down to a roll. She had to do a couple of rolls, stealth, a couple of things, and she aced them all. And when she had to roll to see if she could convince the Darrow to follow her, she rolled a 20. Natural 20. And so she led the Darrow, follow me! Alejandro de Modesto led an army of Darrow down to the city of the Glass Pool to rescue the heroes. And unfortunately, Alejandro de Modesto is not a military leader. So once they got down there, she was the character, and the player was unable to coherently lead them. And they basically all got slaughtered. And that is how you get the story of Tom wanting to put on the Hand of Vecna and avenge them. Which ultimately, when that whole thing resolved without needing to do that, Tom felt like, well, that moment had passed. That's why Tom didn't do it later. So that was one of my favorite parts of the campaign. I love the Blue Dragon flight, the Blue Redoubt. The players discovering that these Dragonborn had been down here for hundreds of years, and these spores grew on them and gave them immortality, cursed them with immortality. They wanted to die but couldn't, and they swore an oath to defend this stronghold. And the stronghold used to be in the surface world, but as I said in the stream, the barrier between worlds shifts and moves over centuries. And there was like a moment where this place was on the surface world, but then was plunged into the world below. And they've been stuck here ever since. And the spores feed off of the Blue Dragonflight's oath. They're magical. Their food is fidelity. And as long as the Dragonborn were unwilling to give up their oath, because that was part of who they were. And that meant they were cursed to this unending life and constant battle, constant war with the Drow, because the Drow wanted to get past this fortress in order to get to the rest of the Underdark and couldn't. And that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. That went really well. That whole sequence went well. They had to negotiate with this Celestial, which is kind of like an elf demigod. Dark elf demigod. That was a lot of fun, because there were these two the Darrow versus the Blue Dragonflight, and role-playing the different members of the Blue Dragonflight. And I stole it all from an old Doctor Who episode. I steal quite a lot from old Doctor Who episodes. Tom Baker, Doctor Who episode, these characters on a quest on a spaceship, and they're immortal. And they age normally, but then they go into a chamber and it youthens them. And so as they get old, they start to go crazy. And the Dragonflight, that would happen. You would see this one really old Dragonborn paladin basically completely losing his shit. And that's because it was time for him to renew. And whenever they needed to explain why they were doing what they were doing, they would say, the oath is the oath. That was their mantra. The oath is the oath. And I got that from The Quest is the Quest, from a great classic old episode of Doctor Who. So I'm going to, excuse me. Why is everybody going ... Sorry. Oh, moment of silence. You guys are awesome. I gotta show Tom this. All the ... The moment of silence for the Darrow. I'm glad, Steve Greens, that you really like the whole gang, because I think most of them are going to return for the real stream, and you get to meet some new friends of mine. But not going to see everybody, because 7 players is just too many. So yeah, people seem to like the Darrow. Yeah, Hand of Vecna is still out there. So that was, I also like playing Xanatar. You guys saw the picture of the Beholder, right? So Xanatar, they're in Menzoberranzan at one point, which is not featured